Hey there, everybody. I'm Fred Thomas, and you are watching Rideable TV, the YouTube channel for AD bikes, frame and wheel, and all things bike. And today I'm going to talk about what happens when you ask ChatGPT, are AD bikes any good? But before I do that, let me just remind you that AD Bikes is the modern face of Austro-Daimler cycling and the bike company of the future. And the one way that we are different from all the other bike companies that are out there is that we do have the courage to ask ChatGPT, are AD bikes any good? And the reason I did that was first, I want to learn how to use ChatGPT a little bit more. But secondly, a lot of customers would talk to me on the phone and say, I like the bike, I like everything, but I just couldn't find any reviews out there. And the only reviews I did find were done by you, and it's true. I have never considered building up any of these AD bikes and shipping them off to some guy who works for a magazine somewhere who is just going to ride around the block or ride it for the weekend and come back and write a sort of wishy-washy, flowery article saying, the torsional stiffness is exceptional, but we didn't like the position of the water bottle cage, and I just could never square that. When I'm the guy who is out there riding the thing every day, and I assure you that I am intensely aware of all the weaknesses of my own product, and also of all the strengths. And, so this bike right here, I did 30 races on it this year. It's, I'm approaching 10,000 miles. I feel like I'm in a good position to write a review about these bikes. So, that is what I'm going to do right now. I mean, let's talk about the strengths and the weaknesses, and let's start with the weaknesses. For sure, the frame set is older technology. The way things are moving, I'm always a year or two behind the curve. And you can see that right here. The cables up front are external. Oh no. They don't go through the stand and down the steer tube for that aero element. And that is something that's just happened in the past 2 years. Fair enough. Secondly, we got a 31.6 millimeter seat post. Everything is either 27.2 now, or it's proprietary. It's aero integrated and all that. And we're still using a BB86 bottom bracket. Many frames are using T47 now, or even going back to English thread. And we have a proprietary rear derailleur hanger, which is sort of a hassle if you bend it. We've got tons of them, but you're not going to get one from Wheels Manufacturing. And the very subtle point is that, but increasingly relevant, is that the maximum chain ring you can get on here is a 54. You might be able to get a 55 in there. But the hanger here just doesn't allow the front derailleur to go up any more than it is right now. You can't run a 57. You can't run an oval chain ring, and that's increasingly relevant because so many bike builds are going to one by. So there are the things that I see that are wrong with or weak about the frame set. And as we all know, you are always your harshest critic. That is definitely the case here. But there are also a lot of really good points about it too. And the first one is that it's easy to work on. I mean, the fact is that because the brake cables are external, they don't go through the stand and all CO2, all that. If you need to, bleed the brakes, it's much easier. You just remove the cable from the grip and do what you got to do. You don't have to take the whole thing apart to get at the hose. Let's see. It's light. This one here weighs 17 pounds and 13 ounces or so, about 8 kg. It's light. It's versatile. I've used it in criteriums. I've used it on road races that are flat, mountain stages. It does everything it's got to do. It's comfortable, that's important. And it also looks cool. It's not black. It's not complicated graphics. It's a unique colorway that is inspired by the original frames that were in the market in the 80s. That's sort of cool. Now, I admit I'm biased, but those are some fundamental positive points. And the weaknesses, basically, the trade-off there is that you're not paying a huge premium. This bike, as seen here, is 30% less than a Shimano Dura-Ace 12-speed build with these wheels that you would find at a bike shop. So, right, it may not be on the cusp of technology, but it has its strengths, including its affordability and its ease of maintenance and adjustment. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking every time I'm out there riding. But let's take a look at what ChatGPT said. So I typed that in. Are AD bikes any good? The ultimate act of self-introspection, and it replies by saying, "What's good about AD bikes?" And it says, heritage and niche positioning, but it says the founder, Fred Thomas, brings racing experience and appears personally invested in the brand's vision and product support. Yeah, he appears that way. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he appears that way. That's accurate. Let's see. It goes down and starts talking about reviews. Quality reviews, positive ride characteristics. There was some comments on Reddit. People speak highly of the graphics. It also mentions the unique programs that I'm always talking about, the sustainability program, the crash replacement. It's picking up all of the stuff that's out there on the blog and I don't know where else. It says good value niche. Their own marketing and some reviews suggest the brand offers inexpensive premium products in this space. Right. So then it goes into what to watch. Brand awareness and distribution is limited. That's true. Oh, hey, Aaron. Yeah. Hey, I'll get back to you, Aaron. Oh my God, I got people who are watching this. What? Okay. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Vincent. All right. So I hope you can see all that. But anyway, brand awareness and distribution. This is true. Brand awareness is not remotely close to what you've got with the big three, unless you're over 50 and were racing bikes in the 80s like me. Then you might have heard of its precursor. But without a doubt, AD Bikes is a boutique niche brand. And it's true. I don't have distribution in local bike shops. This whole thing is run online through a Shopify store. Bike company of the future. Custom builds and components. Let's see, what were they talking about there? Yeah, okay, so the potential drawbacks is, we don't sell complete bikes necessarily. If you ask me, I will spec one out and have it built for you, but we don't have bikes lined up on the floor, just hoping and waiting for someone who's 5'2" to come in and buy one. We just don't have the capital for that. I don't know how big bike companies manage to do all that. And one of the reasons there's so many bikes floating around in the secondary market is because there's just too many bikes around because of that process. So, right, but the access, you're not going to be able to ride an AD bike out the door. That's the key point, and that's fair. Let's see. Anyway, I could go through this whole thing. I'm going to skip down to, so are they any good? Says ChatGPT, and says yes for certain riders, which is accurate. If you know your size frame and you know what you're looking for and you've got some parts, we are a good fit for you. But if you want to, as I say, ride a bike out the door, you're going to have to go to a bike shop and find your Trek or Specialized or Giant and take care of that. But I encourage you to ask ChatGPT, are AD bikes any good? And see what you think. What I would say is the A in AD stands for authenticity. It doesn't stand for artificial. The D stands for dedication. So ChatGPT got some of it right. I think generally it's probably a fair assessment, but you could look for yourself, and you can also use this thing called a phone. You see, it's like this, and you punch in numbers. And if you punch in 207-415-3746, you're going to get me. And I will talk to you all day about the bikes, the components, the builds, answer your questions. And so that is another way that we are different. So, hey, now look, we got some questions from Vincent. Thank you, Vincent. Much nicer to work with a small company than a big one. All right, Vincent. Well, thank you for saying that. And it's been great to work with you on your Ubercross and Superbike and follow your racing. And we've got Aaron. Okay, Aaron, yay. Bicycle weight for road bike. Okay, this one here is 17 pounds and what? 17 pounds, 8 ounces, 8 kg. But if you pedal it long enough, it's going to feel a lot heavier. Please forward pricing on a 56.7 road frame. I will do that. Thank you, Aaron. I hope we have, absolutely. I'll send you what we got. Alrighty. As I say, you got any other questions about the bikes, or if you want to know if AD bikes are any good, you can talk to ChatGPT first, and then you can call me and we can talk about it. That's all I got for now. Talk to you later.